go and get it. With no hesitation. This that never quit. Start that elevation. This that process. This that in the making. This that started from the bottom. This that motivation. This that opportunity. Me in preparation. All I know is win. Feel like Gary Payton. This that process. This that in the making. This that started from the bottom. This that motivation.
So, welcome to Flyview Network. We got a special invite, my boy Amir. Welcome to Flyview Network, boy.
Welcome, my man. Nice to meet you, my man.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, man.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Talking about Flyview Network, my boy got a fly view. You got a really fly view.
Yeah, I got a nice view.
Yeah, you could see all San Jose or what?
Yeah, I bought a house 2019 up on the hill on Harwood. And I bought the house for the view. But then the house obviously had a lot of problems on it. So I got it for a good price and I just rebuilt it.
If you don't mind me asking, how much did you get that house for?
So I bought that house in 3.1.
Man.
What's it worth now, my man?
Good question.
Well, what's crazy is I bought it for 3.1 because no one could, the house wouldn't appraise because I had a lot of defects.
Right.
So that's why I got it for a good deal. And then obviously I fixed it up. It's probably worth today $7
million.
Yeah.
That's dope, man.
It's a double.
But you know what we really want to know is where were you before? Where were you living before? And what gets you to want to have that view? Like, what was the drive towards that view?
Well, it's kind of weird. I bought that house from the founder, Nintendo Wii. He bought that lot for $550 in 1990, 89. He built the house, and it cost them like 1.4 million, 3 million to build it. So he was in the whole thing for $2 million. He lived there for 30 years, and he only made $1 million on it. Damn. But I bought it right before Trump left office, and then Biden came in. Then COVID hit. Interest rates were super low. And then obviously the tech business here kind of helped us.
So
Helped the
about
whole
like
movement.
5-6 years ago, or
4 years ago.
4 years
5
ago?
years. 5 years. 5 years ago.
all right, dang, that's dope.
I've never bought a house and made that kind of money in my life. I bought like properties, commercial properties, but not like that on a house.
When you reference commercial properties, like, are you saying like buildings or?
So I'll get back to that. So your question was like, what made me get that house? I've always wanted a nice house because my father never had a really nice house. And he never had really nice cars. But my dad could afford that stuff, but he never wanted the attention. So he kind of f***ed up by not buying those type of properties back in those days because they were $550.
Wow.
He could have made hella money.
Was there a reason your father knowing him that he was like, okay, I'm doing it? I mean, I don't understand he doesn't want to have the
Attention.
like the attention for it, but like, what's it something else that he was driving towards?
My pops, to be honest with you, bro, is blue collar.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like in the restaurant business. And,
Gotcha.
you know, got in the mechanical business. He didn't rub elbows with wealthier people too well. That's
Gotcha.
boils down to it.
And what do you do for a living right now?
My main business is the gas business, and I'm a general contractor also.
Okay.
And what else do I do? Flip properties, if it comes my way. So that ties into construction.
Yep. Businesses within businesses.
Yeah. And I used to be in the auto body business in the early 2000s.
Nice.
That was actually a pretty cool business.
Which business have you enjoyed the most? Like building.
It's funny. I actually used to love the body shop business, but then I got into the gas business because I grew up in it. And I actually like the gas business more than anything else because it's a business where people don't bully you if the work is not perfect.
Right.
And you could tell someone to leave and you could lower your price or raise your price. People need you. You don't need them. Like in construction, I could build a house for you and your wife could come in and just pick apart the job and not pay me off.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I could do.
How was the structure or like the how what made you jump into that business? Because now you understand the business. Like, okay, this is how it moves. But like, how was the startup of that? Like, did you have like some sort of a mentor that was like, hey, this is
So
business in a sense?
My father bought a gas station on McKee Road, 1976 for 118,000 with the real estate.
Wow.
Oh, with the real estate?
Yeah, back in those days. But it was back in when we were kids, actually, like in the 80s, 70s. The gas station didn't make money; the mechanic shop did.
Oh shoot. Okay.
So then now, if you notice, it's switched. Now it's gas, market, car wash. So then the mechanic business died out, and then it was an old station with a decent sized lot. So I rebuilt that station in 2012, and then it's on McKee and 33rd. Then I bought my own station in 2013 on Camden during the recession, and that one did really, really good.
Gotcha. Is there some sort of a permit you need to before you make a purchase like that, or is it something like, hey, I'm selling my gas station for X amount, and I like, for example, I could go in there and be like, I'm selling my gas station, I could just go by and buy it, or do you have to do some sort of a homework or have some sort of a permit before you can make a purchase like that?
So usually, right now, gas stations you buy existing
Existent.
and you rebuild them.
Gotcha.
Unless like you go to Costco, they put a brand new station in the parking lot. That's different. So it's kind of, but then you have to watch out how much you buy them for too. Because each right now, let's say Costco comes in, they like on Capitol, they have a station. They put in 30 pumps. So you got 30 pumps, and each dispenser makes you money. So if you buy a station with 3 pumps, you're limited how much money you can make.
Is there like a price sheet where like they tell you how much you're supposed to sell the gas for, or like does owners do benchmark around the area and then that's how you base your price per gallon?
So I'm independent,
Right.
So I'm free to do what I want.
So you can mark it up however you want.
I could mark it down, mark it up. But like, say if you're an Arco or Chevron or Shell, there's a price window you have to stay in. So they control your pricing.
Because it's a franchise, right?
Yeah. They don't want everyone cutting their competition out.
How do you see your business currently right now now that we have like more EVs, electrical cars, vehicles? Is it as profitable, or you feel like there's some sort of a decline now with how the world's moving towards like, you know, electrical battery vehicles and stuff like that?
So I think obviously the volume has dropped because of Costco, because they're big players in the business. The EV cars, yeah, it's done an impact, but the population keeps growing. So it kind of offsets it.
It offsets a little bit.
Yeah. So it's give or take.
So what was your first business? The gas station? I'm not sure if
So I grew
we
up
asked
in that business.
Oh, you grew up in that business.
On McKee Road, yeah, I grew up on that.
Okay, and then you went
About
into
my own 13.
and then you went into general contracting, correct?
Yeah, I went into so I went to, let's say, in the 90s, I was in the body shop business, mechanical body shop business. And then my father passed away in 2001. So then I took over his job and ran his businesses.
Okay.
And then it obviously was gas and residential
Yeah.
and real estate. And when I got in his shoes, his site was really old. So I rebuilt it, made it bigger. And then obviously my dad's trust made some good money on that transaction.
And then you went into construction.
No, and then I got my contract license in 06. So I was flipping properties like in 2003. 2002 to 2008, I was flipping properties.
And then that's when you realized that being a general contractor was gonna make you more money too, because now it's gonna be in-house, right?
Yeah. Well, my construction background came in through my dad, because obviously he has rentals. And then I was in the body shop business rebuilding cars.
Yeah.
So the car rebuilding rolled into homes. So that's okay.
It's like a different concept.
Yeah.
But still
Same thing.
Same thing, different concept.
Yeah.
Right? Same shit,
Same-
different toilet.
Yeah, same type of employees. You know, same type of picky customers.
Yeah. We talked about that the other
Yeah.
time too, that we have to deal with customers sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, you said that you do it a little different. You operate a little different. You have like a connection or something like that, or I'm not sure.
So when I got in the business, I actually was doing insurance, fire, and water, because I was in the body shop business, so I knew agents.
Yeah.
So when I got my contractor license, I hit them up, and then they started sending me for fire and water claims.
Okay.
So I was doing that for like 4 years, and then 2000 and let's say 12, the economy started doing better.
Yeah.
So we started back flipping homes again. So I let the insurance company thing kind of dwindle away.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I mean, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I have a question regarding. You said you grew up in the business. What was your childhood like? Because you can take over businesses and sometimes, not be responsible. In your case, I would say, excelled, right? Like you.
So my first job was a busboy waiter
Oh,
at,
okay.
at a restaurant called David's Restaurant,
Uh huh.
and that was like a family friend of ours, and we used to do weddings.
Okay.
So I've been always in customer service business.
Yeah.
So that kind of rolled into my business.
Okay. Okay.
Because without customer service, you really can't be
Yeah.
successful. So.
But were there things maybe like about working with your dad that you picked up, like as far as running a business, right? Did you see things that you were like, I really like how he does this, or maybe things that you carry on to this day in business?
So I'll give you an example. Like you see this room right here?
Yeah.
Our parents' generation would never make this room this nice.
You're right. Yeah.
It's our generation.
Yeah.
We always want to rebuild stuff.
Yeah. True. True.
So that's kind of like how it rolls.
Okay. Okay.
Our parents' generation, they like, oh, it's nice, don't fix it. Right? And they just write it, and they made a bunch of equity on their home.
Yeah.
And then the newer generation comes in and rebuilds it.
Okay. Okay.
That's kind of like how I see how it really is
Yeah.
with our generation versus our parents' generation.
Yeah. Okay.
As an entrepreneur, that you strived, you took the business from the gas station, and you did other platforms for you to like have more resources when it comes to having monetary income, whether you did the flip in and all that. As an entrepreneur, what made you thrive that much? Did you have like a vision, an end goal, or something that made you hungry to keep on going, exceeding expectations from like what your father was doing,
that's a good
and
question.
embedded you on,
So I always looked up to people that were above me and my father. And that I always, like, the people I looked up to was, some people in the car business that I know really well, some general builders, and then like the owner of the 49ers. I looked up to him. And then I watch what they do, and I try to do what I can do that is in my control. But on the process of going there, you get sued a lot too. So you got to learn how to handle that.
I'm currently sued twice.
I've been sued almost 30 times.
30 times.
Man.
You know what? When I got my first one, it's funny he said that, because when I got my first one, I felt so bad. But then I was looking, searching YouTube and other like mentors, I will say, that you look up to. I don't know them personally, but I look up to with the way that they're doing things. And they're like, yeah, man, I got sued like here. So then it made me feel good. I was like, all right, that's part of the process. I was like, that's part of the process. Like, I got to take it with a solid grain. That means you're growing. That means you get it, and it's just part of the game. So it didn't, instead of making me feel sad, I was like, damn, I'm actually getting up there now. I'm getting sued now, so it's just a good thing.
You just got to find a good lawyer.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to hire the baddest lawyer to do everything. And that lawyer is going to charge you so much money, you're actually going to lose the case.
You know what? That's so stressful too, because I had a bad experience, and not business wise, but in another aspect of it, thinking that a lawyer is going to solve your problems.
I might ask a kindergarten question.
What's up?
Do you have a lawyer on standby and you pay him monthly, or how does it work? Or just wait till you get sued and then you hire a lawyer?
So I had a lawyer named Gary Wesley. He was a cool guy. Like he worked out of his condo.
Yeah.
And he was a shark. He graduated from Santa Clara University. He was a Jewish guy. And then if he believed in a case, he actually would represent you because he believed in it. But he won't represent you if you're evil.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And he only charged $200 an hour.
Whoa.
Lawyers were not charged $600. And then we would fight people hiring lawyers $1,000 an hour. So we just run up their bills, and they disappear.
That's true. That's fucking true.
But you don't talk to him no more? Or?
He died.
Oh my God! Let's go revive him.
He passed away. So he had $30,000 retainer in his account or whatever he had, because he'd always take cash from me. He passed away. I don't know where the money went. Dang. He had no kids either.
Dang.
Had it a bolt or something. Huh?
I don't know.
has
It
some-
was gone, but
He had hidden gold somewhere.
he was a cool guy. He'd come pick me up in his little Honda Accord, and we'd go to trial. And then he'd go against people. We had a case. We had 4 lawyers against him, and they were suing me and my dad's trust. And he comes in with a notepad. They're coming in with suitcases.
Right.
And then he won the case. Because I was on the right side. I was on the wrong side.
You guys were actually fighting the good cause, right? Like they were just trying to get you guys for
Yeah, he takes cases that are like, for example, I had a friend that wanted to sue somebody to be evil. He wouldn't do that case. He believed in karma.
How many cases did he represented you on out of the 30 something?
Probably 75% of them. 80% of them.
80% of them. How was it with the other attorney that represented you for the 30% that remained?
So I have 3 lawyers now.
3 lawyers.
Yeah. So that one guy became now 3.
Wow. Because they're all do different things, or why 3?
Gary was a general lawyer, and not too many lawyers are general lawyers. They're like probate, divorce, business.
Yeah.
So general is kind of business, but it's harder.
What would you say his name was again?
Gary West.
Let's find another Gary Weston.
I've tried. So I found one guy. I found one guy, and then he was like, "Okay, I'll charge you $5,000 a month to represent you for all your cases." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it," because I had a couple of cases. And the cases were all done to one, and I paid him for like 4 months. I'm like, "I'm paying you $20,000, and you ain't doing nothing." He goes, "Well, I represent you." I said, I don't need you on payroll."
Yeah.
So I got rid of him, but so now it's kind of like got to a point. Just put a retainer for each lawyer and go.
All right.
In lawsuits, you don't win. It's just more of a principle thing.
What do you mean by like a principle thing?
Like for example, you could settle a lawsuit and take the short end of the stick and get away.
Yeah.
Or you could hold your grounds and fight in a lawsuit, and the lawyer's making the money.
That's what that was gonna
So
be.
in
my next
reality,
one,
it's a bargaining chip. But then when it's about principle, you don't care about the lawyer making money.
Yeah.
It's the principle.
yeah. Okay.
What to stand on, like trying to make sure that
Yeah.
Like I got a case right now. I've spent $300,000, and it doesn't even make sense. But it's a principle case.
Yeah.
So
What's the most you've ever been sued for?
I'm getting sued right now, actually, for $4 million.
Would you believe me if I told you my business is getting sued for $40 million and I'm nowhere near your level?
Dang.
40, bro.
40.
So my wife and I, we have a dry
What?
clean
This
business.
is new.
And there was this tree planted right in front of the dry clean business, right? So one day, a huge branch falls. So we all come outside. Police get there. Ambulance gets there. No one was under the tree. Everything was fine. The next day they came and they chopped it down. So out of nowhere, this lady comes and she claims that the tree branch fell on her. And because there were no cameras or she claims to have witnesses. She was basically.
What does she do for a living?
She takes care of her child. Her child has Down syndrome. My mom actually babysitted her, like from a baby to yeah. And it's not 40, so it's 40 for her, and then it's 40 million for the daughter.
So it's like 80.
80. So she's suing the city. She's suing our business, the business next door,
But what that
and
got to do
our
with you?
landlord. Huh?
What that got
Because the tree was planted in front of our business. So
But that's something you inherited, right?
Isn't that the city street?
So it was until I forget the year. There was a year that in the city of San Francisco said that the tenants or the people around the trees were now somewhat responsible for them.
But you don't have insurance though?
We do. So, but this is the thing: the city had just come by a month before to trim the tree, so they essentially were taking care of the tree. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
So what is her medical records?
So this is the thing. This is what we're fighting now. She has no police report for that day. No. When the ambulance came, there was no report made. And
Is she representing herself?
no, she has a. So she has a team of lawyers, but they're taking her not pro bono, but when they take a case and then they're like, okay, if you win, we want like half of that. It's one of those situations. Yeah.
They probably won't get nothing.
They won't, but it's been a year now. Like
It's gonna take probably 3 years,
3 years. Oh man, that's okay.
and she's gonna get probably some therapy and maybe like 50,000 and get out of here.
Okay.
I had a person trip in front of our gas station, my gas station. She was actually a special ed teacher. It's funny. And she tripped.
Right.
And she got 48,000.
Why were you
She
laughing?
tripped. But what was like
Tripped and she hurt her back.
was the sidewalk like uneven
So
or
they sued the city insurance. They sued my insurance.
yeah?
So the insurance company from my company
Yeah.
had to pay because I had to maintain the sidewalk.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah. You have to. You somewhat take responsibility for like
Sometimes
the
there's
things
some
the city should. You
There's
know.
some bullshit laws sometimes, man.
Man. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
And then that's just taking a toll on.
Those are called ambulance chasers.
There you go.
That's what they're called. That's what they are.
Wow,
They chase
man.
ambulances. Like, oh, where'd it happen? Boom, they come in.
Do you remember what she initially sued you for? Because I don't. Or was it
I think she sued me for 200.
200,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And you just said, "I'll
But
just settle."
they made her go to all kinds of like chiropractor stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy for her to get that money.
Oh, really?
I think 3 years.
Uh-huh.
Divide that up. What is she making? 15 grand a year. Her time was worth more than 15 grand a year.
Yeah.
That's how they factor it.
Wow. Okay.
So she ain't gonna get 80 million.
Yeah, nah. And there's no 80 million to get, man. Yeah, I wish.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, for like construction, how could you say like you structure your business? How many employees you have, or do you subcontract everything, or how?
So I used to have like 25 employees.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
But then it kind of got slow. So then I started subbing everything.
Yeah,
And workman's comp, obviously gets involved.
yeah,
So it makes it different. But subcontracting for me right now is better.
it's better. Yeah, and I own a landscaping company too, so I've noticed that subcontracting is better because you don't have to worry about time too much.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
and you kind of do subcontracting too
subcontracting.
in your business.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, subcontracting for now is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're kind of like for Turo, you're the subcontractor in a way.
Yeah, or my brother's business too, which I run.
Yeah.
I do a lot of subcontract.
So subcontracting is like the shit, right?
A lot of
Well, you got to make sure the subs are licensed too.
Yeah.
I think honestly, it's better to just build and sell.
Build and sell.
The business.
You don't think
Homes.
it's
Homes.
worth holding anymore and like leasing it or renting it? Any? Because I'm doing Airbnb too. I have like 3 properties on it. One is
Out here?
leased. No, I have 2. One here and 2 in Texas. One is currently still leased, and then one is currently Airbnb, and then this one that just opened up, like the lease guy, and then they left. So I'm remodeling it, and then eventually I'm gonna turn it into an Airbnb too as well.
There's many anything. It depends how much your payments are.
When you have your subs though, do you have them wear your shirt or?
A lot of them like wearing my shirts.
Yeah.
I let them, but I shouldn't because if they get injured, I could get responsible. Because I don't know if the sub's paying the guy under the table. So, but the jobs I do are not too dangerous.
That's good to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not too many dangers.
But you can't say, "Oh, I just give people shirts away." Like give.
No, we do. But what if, like I had one guy actually on another job site, an old employee wearing my shirt, and he fell off a ladder, and the hospital insurance called me because he was wearing my shirt.
And he wasn't even
So
working
they,
for you.
They
no more.
investigated to make sure he wasn't working for me.
Wow.
It's just explaining it. Huh?
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good to know for sure.
Yeah.
You know. Nice.
So tell us about your life, my man. Relationships. I heard I heard 49ers somewhere, and then X, Y, and Z. Like, how do you get to that point that you built that strong relationships? I know you mentioned you look up to the owner of the 49ers. How was that? How'd you get to meet him?
So I used to live in Almaden, and Patrick Willis was actually one of my neighbors.
Patrick Davis.
Yeah, Willis.
Patrick Willis.
Yeah, and then him and I became friends, and our friendship kind of grew based on his girlfriend and my wife were friends. So then we would always like hang out. He was in the country. I liked fishing, so we had that connection, and we used to work out. And how did it work out? We just party.
Just
having
partying.
fun, yeah.
Hey, that's the best way a man
Going
connects
out,
with
having
another
fun.
man.
He was a team captain. He was very humble, like chill guy, and we got along. It's weird. I was just at his Hall of Fame in Canton,
Right.
Ohio. It was pretty fun.
That's dope. Yeah,
I got to meet a lot of like different people there too.
that's
So,
cool.
Yeah, then I ended up meeting a lot of his teammates, and then now I'm friends with probably like 40 of them now.
So you said, now that you mentioned that it plays a good a role where your residence is at, because that's your network and your connection. It's
Well, I'm gonna mention again. He does have a fly view.
No, it wasn't that house.
It wasn't that
It wasn't that house.
Oh,
No, it was a house that I had by Leland High School
oh, okay,
in Almaden.
okay.
And then he lived up on top of the hill. I was on the bottom, and then
I know you mentioned one time when I was at your house. You're like, I can see my house from where I live now.
yeah,
Like you're
but no,
pointing-
my parents' house.
Yeah. Oh, your parents' house. Yeah.
So my parents' house where I grew up is basically South San Jose. So my view is basically all of San Jose, and you can see my parents' house.
He could probably see my house, and I live an hour away. That's how much of a good view he got. You
That's
know.
a nice view.
Nah, I wanted to say that because our name is Fly View.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, oh, he definitely got a fly view. You know.
I think my construction background grew my friendship with all the players too. A lot of them would buy.
Oh, you guys
houses,
actually work together
Yeah.
on projects and stuff?
build them homes and remodel homes for them, and then hang out with them.
And you had connections too already, right?
Yeah, no, I was involved with them, and then
Yeah.
they seen I was successful, so they attached to me too.
It was a good opportunity for you.
Yeah, it was good because I get along with most of these guys because they don't do drugs. They're fit, and they like to have fun, and they're not cheap. So when you go out, it's like no one's arguing over the bill. We're just splitting it up and leaving. So I kind of sense that I got along a little better with them than the guys I grew up with. So the guys I grew up with, every time you go out, they're always, "Hey, you got me, you got me." And I'm like, after a while, like, what am I doing?
I think we all been through.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We all been there, done that too.
I have a question about that. So I feel like this is a process that most entrepreneurs go through where, you're starting to maybe become successful, or your journey's leading you down a different path than maybe your peers or the people that you grew up with. How were you able to readjust, I guess, your life and say, you know what, maybe I'm a go my way and you guys stay here, or are they still in your life and it's just not a everyday thing?
I know what you're saying. You're basically,
Yeah.
when do you grow apart from them?
Exactly.
When you get tired of helping, you get tired of dragging,
Yeah.
always trying to look out for them, and then when you fall in a situation and they're not there for you, then you have to cut them off. So you really don't know who your friends are until you fall in a situation.
That's right.
Because if the friends are just coming around to eat your food and eat your alcohol and just leave,
Yeah.
because you're always providing, and then all of a sudden something bad happens in your life and they ain't there, that's how you know. You know people who they are when someone dies, or you go through a divorce, or you go through some financial hardship.
Absolutely.
I agree with you.
I
100%.
facts.
Big
Facts.
facts.
Big facts, man.
Yeah, that's really how it is.
Yeah. And is there something that is this something you would have a conversation with them about, or is it just kind of like, you know what, just I'm not even gonna respond to this person. I'm gonna just let them live their lives and I'm gonna live mine.
That's kind of like a loaded question, but let's say when my father died, I seen a lot of people showing respect that were his friends,
Yeah.
and then when I started doing good,
Uh-huh.
they never came around to see what the hell I was doing.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, so you really liked my dad, you didn't give a shit about me, including their kids too.
And you grew up with them, Yeah.
Like family gathers and stuff like that. Yeah. Wow. And then let's say you get a prettier girl, they get jealous.
Man.
Or you have a nicer car,
Yeah.
they get jealous. So these things add up,
Yeah.
and then you're realizing, what am I really doing with the people that are envious of me?
Man.
Yeah.
You have to pick up on certain things like that, because I feel like jealousy all around. Like, there's a lot of hidden. I don't want to say situations where you don't pick those things up until later on when it's like too late sometimes. So like throughout time you get better to start like understanding like okay,
Oh yeah.
this motherfucker's not really who he's trying to be.
Yeah.
He's just there for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So definitely a key moment for people to know who's really worth it and for your lifespan, you know? 'Cause, you know.
You actually will lose a lot of friends in a divorce.
Really? Oh yeah.
Shitload of friends.
Picking
Why
sides.
why would a divorce be part
Because
of
they take the wife's side or your side.
that? Is crazy.
Yeah. I lost.
I was like, my boy better pick my side no matter what.
I lost probably the most friends in my divorce than I did in my dad's death, or even in my success run.
Dang.
And were you surprised about who may have chosen a different side than
Because
yours?
they're waiting for you to fall.
Wow.
Because she's taking a large portion of your money, so people are just watching.
Man.
You think they enjoy watching that? You go
100%.
through that shit and
Yeah.
people are just like, oh, finally, this motherfucker's not doing good. Like I'm, enjoying. That's some fucked up mechanism
That is,
that
man.
people have.
Hell yeah.
And,
where, like,
and it's a lot of
that's-
people that have that.
No, I mean,
That's
there's
shady.
people that kick it with you.
Yeah.
And when you're doing bad, because that happened to me too, where like,
Yeah.
and then you're doing bad, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden they just forget about you, wipe that clean. You could be in your house fucking, sad or whatever the fuck you're doing, and they're over here like partying, having things. They're not even checking up on you.
No, they
Like,
don't,
Yeah.
they
"Fuck,
don't,
really, my
they don't
boy."
give a fuck.
Like,
That's family too.
I mean,
you
I've
know?
never been through a divorce, but I can't imagine like how hardship it would take a toll on.
And sometimes I feel like
Just
it's
going through it,
the family, the one that be doing the most.
Family be doing the most sometimes.
Actually, the family kind of looks out for you, but financially they watch you fall.
Yeah.
Like they kind of like make sure you're okay. You're not like suicidal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like right when you kind of like rebound, you start seeing them disappear. It's like people come around for a wedding or funeral.
Yeah.
They come around and just make sure you're okay, and then they leave.
Yeah. They don't really check in.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. And then if you're more successful, they get jealous.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, I think that's
and then
always
you
happens.
see in a divorce, if you're wealthy, you see rich and poor divide instantly. Like you'll see like, damn, she got all kinds of money, and the rich people are like, damn, why is she leaving you? She's stupid. So you see
Wow,
the rich
yeah.
and poor just divide.
different perspectives.
And you're like, hold on, what am I doing hanging out with this freaking person
Yeah.
telling me she's taking hella money from me, and the rich guy's like, is she stupid? So then you start realizing, I should have hanged out with that guy then
Yeah.
versus this person more.
Because you're gonna make it back.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know.
And then when you make it back, you kind of want to just pull away from those people.
Yeah. Oh man.
Right now, how many like would you say you have like real loyal ass motherfuckers next to you? Like I would be like, no matter what, I know like if I hit rock bottom again,
Ride or die.
they're my ride or dies. No matter what, like how many?
To be honest with you, I'd probably say none.
None. It's hard truth. Sometimes.
If I lose my house, I'll probably lose 80% of my friends.
Damn.
Man. It's a cold game, man.
Yeah, keeping it real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's true. Shit, I mean, we all been. I mean, just by knowing
Hell
us,
yeah.
like we've been through that scenario too, where like, as soon as there's no more bread, or it's like, when you feed the birds, there's bread, they're always gonna be all around. But as soon as you start
Once
feeding them,
that last crumb
motherfuckers don't even.
leaves,
It's a
They're
wrap.
not even
They
there. It's a
scatter.
wrap.
Yeah, no. If I didn't actually maintain my wealth in my divorce, I probably would be living in Santana Row in an apartment. Probably have one nice car, and probably have my kids back. Going through custody still, but since I kept everything, it made the other side more angry, and everything went up, so they get more angry.
But sometimes that's the hunger that we're missing. Sometimes when shit like that happens, you're like it gets that has happened to you, where like it just gets you to make people expectations of you falling apart, like knowing them to get the feeling that you actually went through it and you're conquering, you're making and winning still.
Yeah.
Like people are like, damn, I thought this motherfucker was falling, but it's actually just to prove them wrong. It gets you that motivation to keep on going. You know?
My situation, I kind of like if someone, like, let's say I'm in that situation, I make sure that they have my success, because if that person is not even successful, I'm not even care what he thinks about me. So I'm like, whatever. And a lot of people say, oh, you hang out with a lot of athletes. Well, yeah, because they have a lot of good contacts. They're cool people, and I could grow from it. They could grow from it.
You do it for you. You don't do it for what they say.
Yeah. And a lot of the guys that I hang out with, you know, like that are Middle Eastern, they do cocaine and stuff like that. I don't do that stuff. So like I don't have too much in common with them.
What is like your health routine? Do you work out regularly? Like you look very fit. You know, like how do you eat?
So I train 4 times a week. I just started actually fasting. I only eat from 12 to 6. Kind of hard.
Yeah,
But I did that because my metabolism slowed down like 37, 36.
Okay.
So I get full faster and I gain weight faster.
Yeah.
So I just kind of eat from 12 to 6. It's been doing good.
Nice.
I like to work out. I like women that work out.
Absolutely.
If I meet a woman that doesn't work out, I don't get along with her. It's weird. It's really weird. Yeah.
So I follow you on Instagram, and I always see you like talking on Instagram like every morning, you know, about your divorce, you know.
Yeah.
Could you let us know a little bit more about what you talk about on Instagram and all that stuff, or?
See, my whole thing on I could talk for a long time about it, but I'll kind of summarize it.
Yeah.
It's about honestly like saving men's future. You know, when you get married, you're signing half your life away, financial life away.
Yeah.
And a lot of our parents never told us this. So like I went through a divorce. I lost $6 million, and I paid $20,000 a month alimony and child support.
Currently.
So then I'm looking at this, I'm like, so my dad or my dad's friends never once said this shit to us, that marriage is a business. So my whole motive is to bring awareness that marriage is a business. I lose women by doing it, but I don't give a shit. Just try to the younger generation know that your parents, your teachers, your pastors are full of shit because they're not really telling us what's the real deal behind marriage. So then my whole purpose is to bring awareness to it. It's something our parents, our teachers, churches, or whatever you want to call it, never told us.
Yeah. And I kind of heard like I'm gonna call it episodes because it kind of feels like you're doing your own podcast and your you know, on your stories. That girls kind of give you shit for all this, like they don't like to hear, you know.
Well, because I'm actually educating younger men.
Yeah.
And I'm disclosing, you know, what's legal. Like they say, oh, I'm not like that. I don't care if you're not like that. The law is allowing you to screw a man.
Yeah.
And it's our parents' job to teach us that marriage is not good for men in this country.
Yeah.
I was never told that. Like my father wouldn't even turn on the AC at times. Oh, electricity bill is going to go up. And he says marriage is a good thing. And when I was a kid, my dad would be like, if your mom ever files a divorce, you're going to lose both of your parents. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I'm going to kill her and kill myself.
Dang.
But then he tells me to get married. So there's a disconnect there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There was a straight disconnect for him to like, maybe he didn't, you know, think it was a bad thing.
Yeah.
But for me, it was fucking suicide. So.
Do you believe in monogamy though? Like being with one person, maybe not signing a contract, right? Getting married, but you know.
So I have a wealthy girlfriend right now, and she actually called me. She's planning to get married, and her dad called me to talk to her. And I said, listen, just throw the wedding. Don't get legally married. Okay. And I told her, you're the breadwinner in this marriage because she's the girl. Her parents are loaded. And if you and your husband divide assets or divorce, he's going to be entitled legally to some of your income you're going to make throughout that marriage. And he doesn't even make a quarter of what your family or whatever you make. Yeah. So it's a bad business move. Just get married, whatever church you want to do, just don't go in the county.
Yeah.
Just don't sign any papers.
And I said, if his family is against that, that means they want your bread.
Right.
Because in reality, marriage is about religion and culture. It's not about going to the county and signing a marriage license.
But isn't it supposedly legally after so many years you're legally married already too?
Well, you have to draft that with a lawyer. You got to have a lawyer come and say, "Hey, she's living here."
Like a prenup, right?
Anything? No, just like this is an agreement. You're like a tenant lease agreement. Like you're living here at this house. We're boyfriend girlfriend, and this is, you know, we're sharing. You're living with me. You're not paying for nothing. You know, whatever you buy is yours. Whatever I buy is mine. And if she don't sign that, good. You don't want her. Yeah. That means she wants your money because legally, that's what they're gonna do. I married into a Muslim family because I'm Muslim, and my ex-father-in-law knew I was fucking his daughter, okay, even though she was Muslim.
Yeah.
And he says, well, I know you guys been together for 4 years. We're Persian, we're Muslim. You got to get married. If you want to, be with my daughter, she's 21 right now. I went and talked to my mom, and he goes, yeah, he's saying true. So I went ahead and got married. And then all of a sudden, July 16th, we go to the county. I just remember this because I was just talking about my friend Jessica.
Yeah.
And I go to the county and sign a marriage license. And her father allows his daughter to sleep in my house. But we didn't get married the Islamic way. So why did you allow me to have your daughter live with me? Because I went and signed an American marriage license? No, because I signed over my income to her. Yeah. And he fucking knew it, and I didn't know it.
Dang.
And then when we divorced, he was the first one to say, make sure you give her half her money before you get your kids. Religion was out the window.
Cold world, man. Cold game.
And I got married.
Cold game.
I got married out of tradition and respect to the culture. I didn't get married to get pussy.
Right. Mm-hmm. You were just trying to do
Just
things
be a
right.
good
Do the
person.
right thing, yeah.
When she filed for divorce, whatever she had going on, her parents supported her, and they holding my kids to this day to get paid.
So you got married at what age again? 20?
30.
30? And
She was 23.
23. How long did the marriage last until?
11 years.
11 years. Well, it's a good
a
time.
long
At least it wasn't like, I'm really after your money. I'm going to cut off real quick.
And I only got married, honestly, I got married to have children and to follow tradition. I didn't get married to, anything else. I just followed the roots. And the roots came back and haunted me. So that's why I talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
Like with Mexico, if you divorce, what does a woman get? Like American or?
I don't know too much about what happens in Mexico or.
So like in Iran, when you divorce, a woman only gets 10% of your wealth, and the man gets the kids.
Wow.
So there's no incentive for a woman to divorce.
Yeah.
But over here, there's a big incentive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Almost like it's set up,
Yes, it is set up.
Yeah.
It's a monopoly.
It is set up.
Yeah.
It's set up for sure. I mean, I told you too, like divide and conquer, But I think it's bigger than just the government. I think it's like, we could get deeper into it, but it's spiritual, Divide and conquer.
I honestly, like, even if I meet someone wealthier than me, I won't get married legally.
Wow.
Ever again. I don't want any government laws to come in my life. They're already in my life, already in businesses.
Yeah.
When you sign a marriage license, they have the right to come in your marriage too.
Yeah. So basically, you're not saying not to get with a girl. You're just saying be aware of.
No, it's very straight. Let's say I meet a girl right now. I'm dating a couple girls. Let's say I end up with one of them. And then her parents come to me and say, hey, we want you to get married, blah, blah, blah. Same old spiel. I'd be like, okay, you're Portuguese, right? Okay, we'll go to Portugal and get married.
Yeah,
right?
why not?
No
Yeah.
problem, let's go.
Yeah.
And we'll have a nice party there and, throw a little, what do you call the wedding when they go away?
Destination wedding.
And if they say, no, we want to get married here, I won't do it. I'll lose the girl? Good, go.
Yeah.
Because I know what that means now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have the party, but
It's like you're gonna get with me at my standards,
My terms,
my
my
terms.
terms,
Yeah.
And what's crazy is a lot of people that have daughters know this.
Yeah.
They know the law supports a woman.
Yeah.
So we don't because we're men.
Yeah.
We don't know. We're just, they love us. They like us. So that's what I try to talk about on Instagram, to disclose that the law is evil to us. Like I owned a house I bought in 2006 for $865,000. That's the one by Patrick's house. And I got married in 2008. It was worth $1 million. She filed for divorce in 2019. It was worth 1.8. So there's $800,000 in gains. Since she was married to me, she had my 2 kids. She wanted space. So I had to leave my house. I said, fuck you. It's my house before
Yeah,
marriage.
hell yeah.
Get your space and live at your parents' house.
Yeah.
Right? With my kids. Go. And you'll see your space out there.
Yeah.
They filed a restraining order on me and divorce papers. Wow. That kicked me out of my house that I owned before marriage because I was married to her. and she had equity interest gains in that house because she was raising my children. So they kicked me out on the streets so my kids could come back and sleep in their rooms with her. When I said, no, my kids could sleep with me. Yeah. You could go to your parents' house.
Yeah.
But since I signed a marriage license, they kicked my fucking ass out of the house.
God.
And they don't care where you land. Like, you could be homeless.
No, I was homeless. I was couch surfing.
Damn.
Thinking it, I'm like, what is this going on? Then I didn't understand about it, and I really understood about it. I'm like, wow, this is how fucking men become homeless. This is how sometimes when you look out, someone's jumping off a fucking bridge. Mm-hmm. Because now she moved in another dude in my house with my kids home.
Oh, hey.
And I'm fucking paying her bills while she's getting sucked and fucked by someone else with my kids home.
I'd have been in jail, man.
So watch this. If I never signed a marriage license, that could have never happened to me.
What'd you do to gain everything back?
I had to pay her out. Thankfully, I was free and clear on everything I owned.
Yeah.
So I leveraged all my assets and had to buy her out. And then they gave her tax-free money because I kept the properties.
That's a big incentive then, man. Tax-free?
They gave her tax-free. I had to give her, so I made $11 million.
So they really want you to lose.
No, they want you to sell everything.
Yeah.
And pay income tax. Mm-hmm. So the government gets the money, and then you guys go on your own way. So I kept everything. So they said, okay, well, then you have to give her tax-free money. I said, okay, that's fine. She's going to get $6 million tax-free. Okay, go ahead and take 4. Because if I sell everything, you're only going to get 4.
Yeah.
She goes, no. You're going to pay me 6. And her lawyer says, you're going to pay her 6. I said, let's go to trial. So I went to trial, and the judge says, you're paying her 6. If not, we're going to auction off all your properties. And I said, why is that? She goes, because you're going to gain equity on those properties. I said, you're counting my future earnings after she leaves to save what? And then get this. The money I fucking paid her, when I turn around and sell these properties, it goes on the purchase date. The money I gave her is a complete wash. So now I got to pay the taxes from the day when I bought the properties.
Dang.
Even though she got $6 million from me.
So that's
$6
plus
million. That $6 million was a complete loss. Loss. I signed a marriage license.
Don't sign it.
People, do not sign up.
Don't sign it, man. Don't do it.
Actually, let me make this clear, guys.
Yeah, guys, don't do it.
Unless she's wealthier.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
Unless the girl.
a lot of the
girl's
stuff
a
I say is
breadwinner.
mostly for the higher income people, but there's no benefit.
I have a question for you. So you went through this whole hardship, right? Went through the whole thing. Was
Still
there,
going through it.
I bet. You know, it's something you just don't recuperate mentally.
No, he's literally going through it.
Yeah.
Was this like so recent?
It's
I
his
paid
custody.
her. Yeah, I'm still going through custody.
Oh, custody. Oh,
So
gotcha.
I paid her out 2 years ago, and I'm still going through it.
Damn.
Like, you barely see your kids and all that stuff,
I don't
right?
even see my kids.
Yeah.
Was there, you know, were you would have been like, if you knew that you had to go through this whole process, which I'm sure you didn't know until you actually got divorced, would you would have done anything to save your marriage in any sense, or it was just lost already?
So the problem here is that my ex-wife was cheating on me
Oh.
with my kid's soccer coach.
Oh.
So
Soccer coach?
Yeah. So long story short, her family is not wealthy, and they never even made $1 million in their life. So she's getting $6 million. So now the eye is on the money, not the self-respect. Yeah. If I married into a wealthy family, this wouldn't happen this bad because they have a reputation. Like, hey, we got a reputation. You can't be doing this shit. Yeah. So they didn't have a reputation to have money. So they're getting a shitload of money. They got freaking, fast rich, and their vision was all about money, not about my kids, not about their self-respect. So then it came back. Now it haunted them. A lot of these podcasts, those morning speeches I do, I bring awareness to it, and it's when I'm bringing this awareness, I'm disclosing them without even trying. And people are like, damn, you guys did this to this fucking guy? What did you do? She had to move to San Diego because she couldn't be in the city anymore. Because her reputation got ruined with her own actions. And then my poor kids lost lots of friends. Damn. That's the drawback.
That's the worst part, man. The kids.
But, the good thing you're thriving, you're doing your thing. But tell us, I'm pretty sure because she's at the end of the day, she's the mother of your kids. So you have to have some sort of a sense of how she's doing. How's she doing? Was she able to do anything with the 6 million, or you think she's in decline of those 6 millions?
So my success made her spend a bunch of money, and she wasn't business smart, so she's lost a lot of it.
I bet.
So she got 6 million from me. It was 5.6 million with whatever. Let's just say 6, right? So she got 6. Her lawyer, actually no, she actually really got 5.3. But the child support alimony ended up being 6. So let's say 5 million. That's what she got in divorce. Her lawyer took $1 million. She fucked off 1.5 by lending it to her family, vacationing, buying cars, buying all kinds of
Being
stuff.
stupid.
So you got right there 2.5. Now you're down to 2.5. She goes and buys a $2 million house in San Diego. So now she's down to $500,000.
She paid cash?
Yeah. Well, she had to because she can't get a loan.
She doesn't work. She doesn't
work.
Yeah.
So she had to pay cash for it. So now she has $500,000 left, and we keep going to litigation. So her money's dwindling down. So she'd end up being forced to sell her house, probably going to rental, and then we have at least 5 more years of litigation.
5 more years?
Yeah.
How old are your kids, if you don't mind me asking?
Now they're 14 and 11.
Okay. And child support stops at 18, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So she has her time.
She has no income. She has no job either. Like she used to work for my company.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of my friends that know me and know her dad, you made too much money and it changed them. And I didn't marry eye to eye. I should have married into a family that had money, and never got married.
Right.
Did you have, so you had money at the time when you married her? You were already well off.
My father's successful. I was worth probably like $3 million.
Wow.
In 2008. So I had money.
Yeah, for sure.
But it wasn't like today. So, like I bought a gas station in 2013 for 1.2 million, and now it's worth 8 million. But it was the timing of buying it.
Yeah.
That's where she got a lot of money from me on that gas station. They got my house. No, she didn't get that much money off me.
I mean, I didn't and I knew that was gonna happen because I've seen people come up with a lot of money, but if you don't know what to do with it, you don't know how to streamline yourself and be able to, you're gonna end up being the same where you left off. You're gonna go back to that place.
Well, you got to know how to make money. Like if I give you $5 million, you got to make it $10 million. A lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of time. I think the child support is gonna keep her afloat for a little bit, but once 18 hits,
She's got to go on to the next rich guy.
if she finds one, because then again, women, they start getting older.
They started getting old and ugly.
Well, like me, like when I have 2 kids, I'm 46. I'm leaning towards a girl with no kids, but the girls without kids in their 30s, there's something wrong with them.
Yeah.
And the girls that are decent, they're divorced with a kid, and then the baby daddy, some issues with him. So do I really want to get with that girl?
Right.
So then now I'm in a situation like, okay, so who am I going to date? The girls in the 20s are too immature. Like in my generation, when a girl was 23, she acted 30. Now a 23-year-old really acts like a 23-year-old. So that part of it's more difficult. So now I've just decided to just keep on dating.
Just roll with it.
Yeah. And just go with it, bro. I don't know. I'm not.
Winging it. Winging it.
And I notice like the girls today they don't care about like a Bentley or like a nice house. It's about what you do for them. In my generation, if you had like a nice car or even a house, girls are gonna just like do everything for you. These chicks these days don't care.
It's about what you spend on them.
Yeah.
Cutthroat.
No, that's really what it is right now in the single life. They just want to go out and spend money.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a whole different mentality. I think this current generation is fucked up in a sense.
So the priorities are off.
Yeah.
It's like fake rich. So.
Dang.
That's deep, man. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's real deep, man.
That's a crazy story, man. But
Yeah.
you know what? Like people need to listen. Hear
Yeah.
out, 'cause,
No.
Again, not everyone has that or went through that. So it's always good to then you gotta really understand those laws. At the end of the day, you have to understand laws regardless for everything because it bites
I
you
mean,
in
yeah,
the ass.
especially when it comes down to business.
Yeah.
You know,
Like I think right now, if you want to get married, make sure that family you're married. If you're into being successful, make sure that family has money. So this way they have self-respect for themselves.
Yeah.
Like I always ask myself, how could my ex-in-laws allow their daughter to do what she did with 2 kids on her hand? Because they never had money. So the money made them go blind, and they lost respect for themselves. And so if her parents had money, they probably wouldn't be acting that way.
that's true. Facts.
Yeah,
Big facts.
that's what I learned from it. Because
Yeah.
So outside of marriage, if you could give an advice to entrepreneurs when it comes to business itself, or doing what you love, in a sense, what would be like that advice that will come from you? Be like, this is something that helped me be where I'm at right now.
well, like I have friends that own restaurants. I'm in the construction business. I'm in the gas business. I see the people that own businesses where you need customers, or customer service is very, very important. They're not as happy. So get into a business where people need you. You don't need them. Whatever it is, like think it out. There could be a lot of things.
Like a gas station. I gotta go get gas.
You got gas stations. You got
I don't know if it's Amir there or
Gro-
not, but I
you
gotta
got-
get my gas.
you got grocery stores.
Right.
You got like even some. I'm not even against getting a job. Like one of my friends, I'm gonna open a business. I said, "What are you gonna make?" So I'm gonna make like this. I said, "How much time are you gonna spend in there?" We divided it up. You're gonna be tied there 16, 20 hours a day, or 18 hours a day. You're gonna be making 200 grand. You divide that out 6 days a week. You're actually making nothing versus your time you put. You're working right now at Apple, making 160. You're actually going to be making more by working for them and having more time.
Yeah.
Owning a business is not always the best thing.
Yeah.
That's a good one because the time that goes into
Oh
it.
yeah, man.
I mean, unless you have to have a good cause where like you have some sort of an end game to where like you find your CEO or you find X, Y, and Z, then you have more time. But at the end of the day, you have to trade your time to the value.
And remember, time just keeps on going forward. It never comes back.
I have a friend that owns a restaurant bar. Poor guy's there 7 days a week, lunch and dinner. Gets home at 12 o'clock. Can't even take his wife or kids out.
Man.
It's not really making money, bro.
Yeah.
You're always stuck there at the right, and then he puts people to work, but it's not busy enough, so he's forced to be there. And he used to work for like insurance company.
Yeah, I think, and it's a good point because unless you enjoy what you're doing, but if you're doing it just for money, then you got to look at time, right? Weigh it out. But if you love that, and you actually spend time loving whatever you're doing.
Like I got my buddy, he's a firefighter, big firefighter in San Diego. He takes a month off work, traveling. I could never do that. He doesn't have the things I have, but I can never take 1 month off. He went to Tahoe, he went to Hawaii, he went to Florida, he went to Texas with his wife and kids. But he makes a lot less money than me, but he likes that lifestyle.
Right.
And
So
he works 4 days and then doesn't work for 3 days. But he's a happier person than me, and I got 10 times more than him.
I tell that a lot to a lot of people. It's like you are partly more happy than I am in a sense, right? Because at the end of the day, my mind is always like in a drive. Like, but I enjoy the journey. You know, and that's something that.
What do you do?
I have a car rental business.
Oh, okay.
I do. I don't want to say I flip houses because I don't, but I do like rentals.
Okay.
I own 3 properties, and then I just started a new business with my brothers, which has been pretty successful this first year. They're doing like it's sort of a catering pop-up business with like baristas and stuff like that. And last year was the first year in business, and they did $230,000 the first
cool.
year. And again, like if I look at the profit margin for it, it was really good because at the end of the day, it's beans and water. And milk,
Beans
right?
and water.
It is, bro.
Yeah.
Like, but it's very profitable. Coffee business is profitable as fuck, bro. So now I'm thinking about, roasting my own beans, branding that shit out, market more than what they're currently doing. So I have a good vision for them overall. So I have like those 3 streams of income.
Nice.
Then I also, not a lot of people know, I think only him, but I also work for Google.
Okay, cool.
So in between all that, I also have a salary job.
So that's your foundation.
Yeah. So that's like kind of like, because when I'm there, like I have, what I like about being there is that I have all my tools there to where like I'm in an office, but in my office, I could work in all the jobs, in all my businesses, while I'm still putting out.
Are you sure you want to say this on the mic?
Maybe cut that out, but
Jesus, maybe cut that out.
Cut that out, but it gives me that freedom, and then plus they feed me. Like it's awesome working there.
Yeah.
Like it's like I have free meals. I go to the gym. You practically could be homeless, and if you work at Google, you have everything there. You take a shower, do everything.
Yeah, there's
bro.
everything
Take a nap.
there.
You know what I'm saying?
And you can stay there 24/7.
Yeah, you can stay there 24/7. So it gives me the freedom to still do what I gotta do, and then also be able to
Run the businesses.
input and run the businesses. And I have good people on my team. So
You also
it helps
got to
it.
have multiple sources of income in this generation.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
cool, man.
So it's a thing. Actually, for one of our podcasts we shot at Google was pretty fun.
Oh yeah.
We did that. It's still in the wrap.
We had some bad mics though. It didn't sound good.
Yeah. So trial runs. You know, we didn't have this right here. We have more things, and when we got the footage, we're like, oh shit, our voices are all fucked up. I was
He's tried several businesses at Google. Then that's like
like,
4 or 5.
How long you been at Google?
11 years.
Oh, good for you.
11 years. Since I was 20 year old. Actually, it was I actually didn't. I don't want to say I didn't deserve the job in any ways, but my dad. See, it's all about connections, right? I didn't finish school. I didn't go to. You got to cut that out too, right? But it was through a connection that my dad had that got me the job, and then eventually I, moved myself up, and then now I'm a senior sales manager.
Nice.
There, so I do sales.
So are they ever going to build downtown San Jose, or is that never going to happen?
They stopped because the whole they are eventually, but the plans that should have been done years ago. But then COVID hit. They had all the planograms ready to go. There is already a campus there, but it's not where they wanted to be. So I don't know exactly what's the goal there or the plan. But eventually, I feel like once they do make that bridge or that jump, that market is going to go up more. But I'm currently on a campus that's brand new. It's
In Mountain
next.
View?
It's Mountain View. It's next to NASA.
Okay.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's dope.
It looks like a spaceship because they have like dragon scales in the building. It's like super sustainable. The water that you use, the electricity and all that. It's pretty fucking innovative.
It's apocalyptic.
Like even if there's an earthquake, the shit doesn't move.
So there was a Persian guy that owned Google too. He's one of the owners. His wife divorced him and took $4 billion from her, and she's like a rock star in the Middle Eastern community. She lives in Atherton.
Oh, that's one of the wealthiest areas, man.
Yeah,
What's his name? Do you know his?
I don't know, it's one of the owners.
Oh,
He's Middle Eastern. I think there's a couple owners, right? Google.
There's 2 that started it, and then eventually
I think he's one of the 2 that started it.
one of the 2. So it's
If he's a Persian guy, that's the guy.
Larry Page or Sergey Brin, and I think Larry Page is the guy that's probably Persian.
Or Google, I don't know. So then they divorced like 15 years ago, and this lady like is switching husbands like water. Yeah,
Are they taking half of her stuff too?
I don't know. Like she married a Persian singer, and he threw a concert. So she rented she didn't like where it was at, so she rented the Sounds Arena for him, so he could throw a concert, and it was maybe like 20% pull. She didn't care.
That's crazy.
See, it's a fucked up mechanism
Yeah.
sometimes. But I've only seen him twice, and they're like the most humble people. Like I remember, like I was walking into the cafe and I was, minding my own business. The first time I seen him, I was like 26. One of them, I think it was Larry Page, and I see a bunch of security coming by, and I'm like, "What the fuck's happening? Like, what's going on?" And then, I'm gonna grab my coffee. I got a little donut, and I turn around. And he was like, "Hey, are you gonna grab some coffee?" And it was him, but I didn't fucking realize that until I see like a whole bunch of people around him.
Yeah.
Because you see a guy, he had shorts, bro, and a tank top, and I was like, to me, it's a normal dude, right? Like, walking in, and then eventually later on, my coworker was like, "Bro, that shit was a fucking order." I was
Like this weekend, I was with the owner of the 49ers daughters at Patrick's Hall of Fame ceremony. They came in with no makeup, no jewelry, just long dresses, and they're worth $7 billion bucks. Obviously, the Google person is way more.
That's how much the Niners are worth?
They were 7, and then I actually took a picture of the girls. You want to see them? And then
Sometimes
I think they were 2 playing Jane.
yeah.
You think it's because they
Look.
grew up with money?
Well, I feel like most successful people, they don't wear too much stuff because I think they don't have nothing to prove. You know, like
No,
just
I actually like I disagree because even if I know some people that got a B in front of their name, not an M, millionaires,
Yeah.
billionaires, they're sloppy, they're plain Jane, but they're not social because I think they're insecure themselves.
that's a different perspective that I didn't.
Like when I was talking to them over the weekend, I was like, "So what's your guys' hobbies?" They're like, "We like to read and drink wine." 38, still single, and their parents are worth $7 billion, and they have security with them everywhere they go. And I was talking to them. I said, I met them in Vegas at the Super Bowl, and I actually spoke to them. I said, "Hey, I was talking to you 2 girls, and a security guard came over my shoulder and looked at me. Well, that made me awkward not to get to know you. Not that I'm even qualified to get to know you, but it pushed me away from you 2. And I'm an aggressive guy." And they're like, "Yeah, that part of us really came back and haunted us." So I think they live in. I remember when we were younger, Michael Jackson couldn't go nowhere, and he said, "I just feel like going to a grocery store and being a normal person." They can't do what we do.
Yeah.
Like the security guard's outside. Let's say if she wants to go out in a room with some dude, she can't go because the security guard is watching her. I think they're actually depressed
Yeah.
because they don't have the freedom. They're blessed and they're cursed.
And it's always like that. Like nothing can be too good because at the end it turns into being bad, and nothing can be too bad because.
Well, can you imagine right now if our dad was Larry Ellison, and we're 5 boys, and we want to go to the strip club and smash and have fun?
We can't.
We can't.
Yeah. You have to.
So they're blessed and cursed,
Cameras, paparazzi,
Yeah.
security, everything.
or get kidnapped.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's
What did Spider-Man say? What was Spider-Man's uncle?
When
With big power comes
big
great
responsibility.
responsibility.
yeah. And it's funny, their brother actually committed suicide. 2016, jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge. So there's something
That's
going
one
on,
of the
right?
things that question. We're like, how they had everything, but then again, you don't look at that other side of the spectrum of what they actually go through. As with celebrities, when they're like have all the paparazzi, they're like almost like pissed off. And
Yeah, I almost rather not have that if I'm gonna have to be like,
rich and low key is the key.
A person that's worth 20, so a person that's worth, let's say, $20-30 million could do what a $100 million guy could do. And like even these athlete guys I'm friends with, they can't really get a good girl.
Now that you have those relationships, you feel like they struggle too when it comes to
No,
relationships?
they can't get good girls. They get the groupie chicks.
The ones that they're just gonna fuck them up and drain them.
No, the ones that just want to just have fun. The good girls are scared of those guys
why are they scared?
because they're players. They got a lot of money.
Like, you mean scared or intimidated?
Both.
Scared because they don't want to jump into someone that they're gonna get fucked at the end. Because this motherfucker's gonna cheat on me regardless.
So.
Yeah, that's fucked up. and that's why we want to have that one topic about perspectives.
You figure, let's say like Tom Brady probably is the most eligible bachelor right now that's on the market. Let's see who he ends up with.
Dang.
Yeah. But he's probably gonna get a hot girl. That's crazy stuff.
I got a question for you. What is your most happiest moment, whether it's in business or just in life in general? Because we talked a lot about trials and tribulations. What's like your most happiest moment?
Right now, it's about enjoying my accomplishments.
Okay.
Like I like to take care of things. Like I like taking care of my house, my car, my businesses.
Yeah.
I like beautiful women. Yeah, just things that I just like to maintain stuff.
Yeah.
Like what makes me excited.
Mhm.
I don't know.
No.
Like when I make a lot of money, I get excited, but then I gotta pay taxes, so I get pissed. And then my child support goes up, so then I get more upset. So that part of it is not happiness anymore for me.
Yeah.
I would say I think maintaining what I own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have a moment though in your life where you accomplished something and you were like, wow, like I'm very proud of myself. Like I'm super happy. Like this is, like that feeling that you made it. Like,
So for me, anytime something really good happens to me, something bad happens to me. So it takes the enjoyment away.
okay.
Dang.
Yeah.
You know, my safety mechanism is that I think about all the shit that could go wrong,
Uh-huh.
like in a negative way, because when I do that, it doesn't happen. It's a fucked up mechanism, but like if I be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, what could go wrong? Like, what are the shit that could be like, and then I think of all the perspectives of every single way.
And
of
if it
things
does
go wrong.
happen, then
it never does.
No, but I'm saying, and
It
if
never
it were
does.
to happen, you already knew, so you're not gonna be as disappointed.
Right. You expect the worst and hope for the best. If it comes, it comes. But then you prep yourself to go through that. But I'm blessed to say that when I do think of it does not happen.
Yeah.
And it's just a weird thing. And I've always been doing that since I was a kid.
That's
kid.
crazy.
Like I think about it and it doesn't happen. Fucked up shit.
Everything happens on its way.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I used to get excited when I used to buy cars.
Oh yeah.
That was part of you get excited.
Was there one car that you were like the most excited about?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I got a '63 Impala drop top.
What color?
It was a fixer upper. I didn't sleep that night. I remember that. I was like 17. I
Nice.
was like,
You're like, yeah.
Do you still have it or
no, I sold it.
Oh.
I was super excited to get that car.
Nice.
And then I bought a Ferrari. That was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Definitely.
Was that? Would you say that's an accomplishment for you to buy a Ferrari or?
I bought it actually. It's kind of weird. Actually, when I bought the Ferrari, I lost a lot of friends.
Dang.
Even though I could have bought 10 of them. It's weird. Just that one Ferrari made people churn against me.
They probably really liked that car and they wanted it, or what?
You think it was
No,
mostly
'cause
jealousy?
I was married with children. So a lot of people are like, why are you buying this type of car when you're married with children?
Man.
Stuff like that is weird.
That's fucking weird. The fuck do you care? Like,
Right, you made the money. You know what I'm
like
saying?
what the fuck are you?
And then I noticed that my house didn't match my car, so that's why I'm like, it's time to upgrade my house. But I was looking for a house far before I bought the car. But I just couldn't find the right house.
Yeah.
The friends that you lost, were they like around the like you would say the friends that you will go out to drink with, or they're like just people that you knew, or what were they like really people?
Can I rephrase?
Rephrase
The friends that you lost. No, he didn't lose friends.
They lost.
They lost
They
him.
lost him.
They lost him.
So when you're single, you have to have a lot of friends. That's the only way you're gonna meet a girl. So like I'm in that phase. So I have a lot of friends, but now I have a lot less friends. But when you're single, you gotta have a lot of friends to meet people and meet the right person. Then when you get a girlfriend, you end up becoming friends with her friends. So then your friends change, and the good ones stay with you. And then when you have kids, then all of a sudden now your kids' friends are their dad and mom is your friends.
Gotcha.
So your friends kind of switch as you grow older.
Or vice
Then when
versa.
I bought- when
they
I
were
bought the-
being judged.
So when
You
I
were
bought
being-
the
they were
Ferrari, I was
judging
around a lot of dads,
you.
and they couldn't even afford a Mustang.
So they're like, oh hell no!
They were
this
they were
guy
trying
really
to tell
pulled
you
up a
what to
Ferrari?
buy.
So their
man.
kids,
I'm over here in a minivan.
yeah, the parents actually, the kids would tell their dad, "Daddy, Cameron Ryan's dad bought a Ferrari," and then he goes, "Thanks for throwing me under the bus. Now my kid thinks I got to freaking buy one." I said, "Well, it's okay, bro."
Damn.
Use it as motivation and buy it. That's crazy, man.
And it's weird. When I ended up divorced, a lot of people said, "Oh, you bought that Ferrari and you changed."
Like, nah, you changed.
So it became like a little like dagger towards you.
Well, there's a song like a Mexican song that they say, oh, that we changed like when we started making money, but in reality, the ones that change are them.
Yeah.
The ones that are not making the money. You know,
Yeah.
You're the one changing on me. What are you talking about?
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like the whole thing is. I actually lost more friends. I lost more educated friends when I bought my Ferrari. It was weird.
Educated friends?
Educated friends, like people that work for Google or
Gotcha.
Facebook, you know, those Apple people, they all tripped out when I bought it. But my friends that are actually hardworking, they loved it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was weird.
It has to do with your perspective, right? Your point of view, because
I
like you
think
said, you
everything's
see it,
perspective.
and either you get motivated by it or you get jealous from it. So somebody that's like, let's say in that midpoint, looks at it as a like a negative, right? Because he's like, fuck, I'm getting there, and why can't I get there? But the person that's really in the bottom says,
And then some people were saying, "Did you buy that car because you got a short man complex?" And I'm like, "Motherfucker, I don't give a fuck how tall you were. I'll stand on my wall and be taller than you." But some people told me that too. When I got it, I was like, I heard weird shit.
Was it? Oh, because you know what happened to me too, and I had a crazy phase in my life. I mean, he knows that where I was like very materialistic. I would say. He didn't even like me. Well, I mean, not that he didn't like me, but he will be
hated
the
you
one
right
to
now,
tell
man.
me, was like, bro, like
Nah, it's not.
you're
it's not
doing too
that-
much, dog.
It's
like,
not
you
that
know.
I didn't like him. He was just acting a certain way that I was like, hey, bro, like, you know, you gotta take it down like a notch or so, you know.
Was it during the Jennifer Lopez days or what?
Pretty much.
But it wasn't about the money. It was just the way he was acting because he had the money, you know. And
It was weird, and I know it was wrong.
I was at one point right at like something like that too.
Yeah.
You know? That we started to come up, and it just started to feel some type of way, you know. And then at one point, I just started to humble myself, you know.
But I heard things like that, but I've never heard him like in my face. You know, it was like so and so said this, and so said that, or it was like.
But this came out in my divorce.
Oh, gotcha.
Not when I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
When the divorce happened, I heard echoes through people.
Oh, but it was not like telling you indirectly, right? It was like, oh, so and so said.
Right, yeah,
like,
right.
It was like, oh, like
This person
motherfucker
said
really
this
said
about
Or
you.
my
type
kids,
of-
Right,
my
right,
kids
right.
would tell me when they would see me certain things.
But what you were saying is that I told you directly, right?
Yeah, but like I mean, a few guys will like your real friends will tell you
Like, for
if you're
example,
doing something wrong, you know.
I had, I think, 8 cars or 9 cars. And then my son goes to me, Daddy, one of our friends said that you have a lot of cars because you're short.
Oh wow.
I said, "What?"
See, that's right.
And I said,
That's exactly what I've.
Like, hold on, what?
And I was like, who said that? Soccer coach said that. And I was like, really? The guy can't even afford one of my fucking wheels.
You know, the crazy shit, and it's the people that they really are not in that level. You know,
That's
like
what I'm
they're
And-
haters.
And I say,
Fucking
Shirazi,
haters,
I tell you,
dog.
Shirazi, I actually am never going to be humble after that again. When I would see that motherfucker or the other Facebook people, I would be like, hey, you want to go take it for a spin? You want to drive it?
Yeah,
Just trying to be cool that I'm cool.
yeah.
And they all turn their back to me. Next time I say, man, if you ain't got that kind of money, don't even look at it. If I was a dick like that to them, they would have been scared to talk shit to me. Sometimes being too humble is actually a bad thing.
It's a bad thing, huh? And I've noticed that with my employees.
Mhm.
You know, trying to be the nice boss.
Yeah.
Hell nah, bro.
when they walk over.
They start fucking talking over you. They start walking all over you. Just
Taking it
because
for
you're
weakness.
trying to be cool,
Yeah.
but they don't take it as cool. They just take it as like, this motherfucker.
Yeah, you got to watch out to be how nice you are to people.
Yeah.
Everything's a balance. I
Yeah.
think you have to stay in between.
Yeah, you can't be too fucked up
too
either.
fucked up either. Like it has to be.
Because they're not gonna want to work for you either. Motherfucker too fucked up.
Yeah. Well, the employees, you can't really bring nice things around employees.
Yeah.
Which you did. Because you will always make them a part of.
Yeah, I was always bringing them to my
Yeah.
parties and all that stuff. But that I've learned my lesson though.
Yeah, you did.
That's actually, I'm happier where I have subs.
Yeah.
But it's life. You can't hide it forever.
But and you need things like that because you learn and you get to be like, okay, this is how I need to move now. You know, this is how I can't be just open. And sometimes when you do it out of graciously to help people out or to It's like, hey man, if I have it, you could have it too, type of thing. And at the end of the day, you're doing it wrong because now they're starting to hate you because of that. You know, it's
Yeah.
Well,
it's
they
a
start
fucked up
expecting
mechanism.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, you could buy that car. That means you can pay me more.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't work for it.
Yeah.
They just feel like they deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Do you have other associates with you that help you run your business?
I got
Or
two
is it just you?
managers,
Two managers?
One for the construction, one for the gas. 3 managers, sorry. 2 for the gas, and then 1 for the construction.
But no partners.
No.
No partners. That's good.
And one of your managers has been there for a long time with you, huh?
30 years.
30
Yeah.
years.
So loyalty right there.
Yeah, working with me, yeah. Actually, all my employees, long term, 10 plus years. I treat them nice. Give them freedom, but you know. Yeah. So the hardest thing right now, I think, is meeting a good girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hardest struggle I got.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. No, it is.
No, it is.
Are
No.
you single?
I'm single, yeah.
Yeah. You're married.
Not married. Yeah.
Single.
I'm in a relationship. Yeah.
That's the hardest thing.
Finding good ones, too, that are just not going to be there just for the cloud or for what you have or what you don't have.
Like, I know this guy that, I'm not gonna drop his name, but you know, he always tries to go after my chicks, and he's married. I'm like, whatever. For once, I seen him with a hot chick, and he fools around on his wife. And I seen this chick 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, damn, she's bad. I'm gonna follow her. So all of a sudden, I follow her, request her, and she says unrequested. What the fuck? So I asked my girlfriend that met her, follow her, unrequested. Then I asked my buddy to follow her, accepted it. Then I said, let me request her again, unrequested. I was like, what the fuck's going on? Then I had my other buddy that works out, follow her, she accepts it. I'm gonna do it again. Requested. The homeboy calls me. Hey bro, don't you get the picture? She doesn't want you to follow her. And I said, really? Really? His name was Jay, the dog trainer guy. And I said, really? So why wouldn't she want to follow me, but she wants to follow 2 guys that are not even a quarter of me? And he's kind of successful in his own way. And I'm like, and why are you bringing a girl around your boys when you're married? And well, that girl, first of all, would never unrequest me unless you told her. And I had my girlfriend request her because you used to like her. She didn't like you. So it seems like when you have a chick, you're shysty with your chicks, but I'm not shysty with my chicks. No, bro, it's not that. I said, yeah, it is, bro. So sometimes you just don't know who's who either, even when you're hanging out with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm free with my chicks, right? Not tripping. Go ahead and follow. What is a follow going to do? Follow's not going to pull her pants down. But he's that protective over his chicks, but I'm not protective over my chicks.
Right.
Well, it's because he's insecure about you.
I'm an
He
idiot.
knows that you could just.
No, I'm an idiot in his eyes. I'm going to go try to get one of Amir's chicks. And I don't care. Because I'm not jealous like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that dude was. So now I'm after his chick.
Make some little right there.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I don't know what it is, but
I actually have two of my girlfriends now is following her, so they're gonna get friends with her. I'm gonna go on a date with her.
The man with the plan.
You wanna see her? She's hot.
hey.
I was like, fucking guy.
So I have a question for you. So what's the material that you look in a woman that will make you think about going into something serious?
Bad. Look at this picture of this girl.
The one in the right.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
That classy.
Yep. Like that.
When a girl looks classy. When a girl looks classy, 100%.
They know how to dress.
And I'm not really into like a lot of tattoos on women.
Which he has.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just kidding. It just I like girls that like that are classy and they glow and I could bring them in an environment where she could gel with your girl and your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Not be worried that that girl's wild. I don't want you to be friends with her.
Yep.
Classy women.
Classy, secured.
Just classy. Like dresses nice, talks nice. That's to me, and that type of girl will make you more money too, because she'll bring in girls with husbands that you could do business with.
Network.
That's
Ooh, that's a good one.
facts.
Big facts.
Yeah.
Networking through woman.
Yeah. No, it is.
Yeah.
Like if I was with this girl that I just showed you at the 49ers convention, bro, right away she would have been. Not even the guys. The women would. She could go talk to the women, and the women are all the guys are successful in there. Next, you know, she's being friends with all these girls, and then we could go to dinner dates with these people. Or, for example, like the owner's daughters.
Game right there, no?
The owner's daughters. I could do only so much with them, but if she was there, oh, here's my girlfriend. Blah blah. I meet because girls talk. They get their Instagram. Now we're friends with 2 billionaires.
Let's go to dinner.
That is a whole different new way of.
I think this one we're gonna save this information for
Yeah, no, it's really
for
real,
us.
bro.
Yeah.
Like I bought my big house on the hill as a marketing tool for my construction company to make more money, not to make it into a Playboy like bachelor pad, but it ended up being that for now.
It serves multiple purposes.
Like a good classy woman meets classier women, and then those women have classier men that are successful, and then you can do business with them. Since I'm in construction, it goes hand in hand.
That's game.
game.
Yeah.
That's game right
I'm gonna tell my wife that I'm gonna get a side chick just for business. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm sure your wife's classy.
Yeah, no, she's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. I mean, I could probably do that with her. You know?
Because right now, the girls I'm meeting, Ernie knows, they're decent, but they're not super classy.
Yeah.
So it impacts it.
Yeah.
Like a classy woman, like a lot of women don't know this. If like successful men like classy women,
Yeah.
you could be like an 8 or 7 and dress classy, and that rich guy is gonna want you because you're classy. Like us, we're freaking classier dudes. We're not freaking ghetto.
Yeah.
That's why we can hold a conversation.
Thank you, bro.
But you see what I'm trying
Thank
to
you
say?
thank you for the
But
compliment.
if a woman is classy, then she attracts classy.
Yeah. No, definitely my girl knows how to dress up very classy, and she does have a good presentation for sure.
I used to date this Portuguese girl, beautiful girl. She had a rough childhood, but she couldn't talk. You couldn't do shit with her. And then she would say the F word. She would say certain things. She liked doing cocaine. But she was super pretty, but her looks didn't match her personality.
Yeah.
And she's now with some fucking drug addict. So that's hard. Right now, that's the hard thing to do is find good classy chicks that are hot. That's another problem.
having those two.
That's not-
combined.
So when I seen this girl, I'm like, damn, this girl's classy and she's pretty.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I like that.
Yeah.
And she listens.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, all right, this is. I'm not going after her just to like get her at her. I'm trying to see, okay, if this girl makes sense, she's a decent girl. And I even told him, I go, you're married, right? He goes, yeah, I'm married. We're just friends. I said, then what you worried about?
Yeah.
I'm not. You have a wife. Why are you worried?
Yeah. But you said you don't talk to her right now, or you're talking to her, or what?
I'm gonna get her.
Oh, okay.
I got some.
You're in the works.
We got some sharks going after him.
I'm gonna get her.
I'm trying.
So I got 2 of my girlfriends just became friends with her. They know her a little bit, so they're gonna drag her out and I'll meet her.
You already got the blueprint, bro. You got the blueprint already, bro.
I got it.
But that's true though. The having girlfriends, like not girlfriends, but like
Friends that are girls.
friends that are girls. Where the fuck you
Hey,
wanna
they
say?
request her. They're friends now. Oh,
Like-
where do you work out at? Where do you do your makeup? Boom, 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 boom. Hey, we're gonna be at this restaurant. All right.
They're powerful tools.
You got a game plan already.
Yeah.
Hey, that's dope, bro. I hope you get it too.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
see it happens.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's fucking cool. You just opened. We learned something new too. I never thought about it that way. How they could really support you and enhancing those expertise and open new doors to network with other people. And that's true, man. That's
Because women are not like men. They could have 30 friends. And they go out with them and talk to them and they do certain things with them. Like guys, we just have a bunch of close friends. We have acquaintance when we go to the club.
Not Shorty. Shorty makes friends everywhere.
No, but like what he just said, they're acquaintance to some point.
That's true.
Because
Yeah.
Just
What-
because
Like, not true.
But women like to socialize. We don't.
Yeah.
we keep our circle.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, how many times do we go to the club and bring other guys?
yeah.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Fuck that dude.
That's true.
That's very different.
But girls be like, hey, girl, I love your bag.
And you got 2-3 girls up in the.
Yep. It's a powerful tool. Definitely. Shit.
Definitely cool, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think we've talked about everything on.
Yeah, I think.
Your whole life story already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's recorded for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah, well, no, it was thank you for joining us,
Sure.
Flyview Network. You know, it was a pleasure having you here, and hopefully we could do another one too.
Yeah.
You know.
Let me get that girl and we'll do it.
Yes.
with her
So,
and you can
Bring
it
the
back.
chick over.
So basically, yes,
updated.
hey, everybody, stay tuned because we're gonna have part 2. And actually, I was gonna talk to you about that. We wanted to have you and a girl do like
come through?
yeah, a podcast.
In an interview.
Yeah,
I'll get this chick and I'll do a podcast.
yeah. All right.
That's what's up,
Say
man.
less.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Hey,
Sounds good, man.
he said it.
Yeah.
It's on camera.
Oh, yeah. We'll do it.
All right.
No, you gotta be.
Just that go and get it, with no hesitation. Just that never quit, start that elevation. This that process, this that